In this video, I'm going to be discussing your privacy settings on Facebook. Now, basically there are three levels of privacy that Facebook has. That's friends, friends of friends, and everyone. Now, of course, you can also opt in some cases to have no one see certain things, but that's kind of nutty because one, this is the internet and very little is totally secret, and two, if you want no one to see it, don't put it on the internet, let alone Facebook. So let's go ahead and take a look at our privacy settings. So we'll head on over to our account here, hit that drop down, and then come on over to privacy settings and click on that link. Now, of course, there's other ways in which you can get here to and learn more about privacy. One other way is at the very bottom of your page, you can click on privacy at the privacy link here. Now then, if you have not closed this blue box out, kind of an information box, and you'll see these kind of things pop up every now and then you can also get some additional information by clicking on this link right here, Guide to Privacy. And if you do this, well, let's go and do that. At the bottom of the page, there's a couple of other items of interest. One, some videos. I'm a big video fan. Additional policies, FAQs, or frequently asked questions, and some other resources that you might be interested in checking out. Just a heads up, it's a better idea to be a little proactive than reactive. In other words, it's better to know more about your privacy settings now rather than after you've encountered some issues, be it your site's been hacked or you're getting stalked or whatever the case might be, and then you have to react to that by making adjustments then after the fact. It's just easier to be preventive than to have to clean up a big mess later on. So again, spend a little bit of time. Go over this information. Of course, do so after you get through watching this video, but be a little more familiar, if nothing else, where this information's at so you can easily get to it, in a pinch whenever you need to find out more about it. So let's head on back over to our privacy settings, and here you can adjust certain items such as your personal information and posts, your contact information, friends, tags and connections, applications and websites, and even adjust what might show up on the search engines based on your searches. And you can also block those people that are just totally irritating and the stalker types. So let's go ahead and take a look at these individually. This first one here, personal information. Number one, I wanted to point out, as I've touched on in an earlier video, if you want to check and see how things look on your wall and your profile from the eyes of others, click on this right here. And this gives you a kind of a bird's eye view of what others are seeing on your profile and on your wall. So this might give you a little bit more of an insight as to how you might want to adjust things here or there to make it look better or less. Again, just a good idea to at least ways know where that information's at and how it looks to others. And again, you can do that by clicking on your privacy settings under account, go to personal information and posts, preview my profile. And a lot of other things in here. Again, just go through here, make some if not adjustments, at least ways be aware that they are there. For example, your bio and quotations. Well, here, let's just take a look at one. So you can see most of these here are defaulted to everyone. Some are friends and friends of friends. And if we were to check on this one here, for example, maybe you didn't want everybody to see this, you only wanted just the friends, not so much the friends of friends, but just the friends. Then you can select that, and then this is now your default. And you'll see where this comes into play here in just a second. But you've got other adjustments you can make, not just so much privacy, but you can also edit settings for your photographs and your photo albums. And if we head on back here to privacy, we'll check out now the contact information. Again, one thing you might want to keep in mind, especially from the marketing standpoint, you may not want to limit much of your content here, but consider this. You might want to separate it from one list of friends over another one, like from one niche to another. In other words, if you have not done so yet, you may want to start grouping your friends in particular groups, for lack of a better phrase. And that way you can more selectively allow people to see certain bits of your content. For example, if you let's go back here for a second, under personal information and posts, maybe under your photo albums here, you did not want everybody to see this particular photo album, maybe because it was of a cruise on a particular marketing jaunt, and you only wanted a certain list of people, those that might have been on that cruise, and you've created a list, named them Marketing Cruise 2010. Well then, under Custom Privacy, come on down here, and you can specific people, enter the name or list. In other words, you would then just enter the list, Marketers Cruise 2010, or whatever you named it, and then only those people would have access to this particular photo album. And if in that group you wanted to not let some people see that, then you could also narrow it down even further by hiding that information or those particular photo albums from a particular individual or individuals within that group. Again, or from, if you let everybody see this particular photo album, you can eliminate certain lists or groups from seeing that by putting in their name and or list name in here. So again, you can be very specific as to who you allow to see certain things, certain parts of your content on your Facebook account, from photo albums to just typical posts. And again, that's why it's important, especially if you plan on building a huge mass of friends on your Facebook account, to start adding them not just to your Facebook account, but to particular lists on your Facebook account, grouping them. And that way you can be more drilled down, more specific as to your privacy settings, rather than just going across the board, anybody can see this or nobody can see this. And in addition to the contact information, friends, tags, and connections, again, you've got the same adjustments you can make here. You can also adjust the applications, because one thing you want to keep in mind is that you might make certain areas private to some, but it is possible that the permissions you have granted already to some applications will override that privacy setting. You can, however, adjust the privacy setting of these applications. When, for example, a particular application you are trying to use requires info that you have made private, but the application needs it to work properly, then it's going to ask you for permission first. So if you want, you can go ahead and grant these permissions, however you see fit. But remember this, you can always go back and make adjustments on the privacy settings right here for your applications and websites. Again, we just click on this, and depending upon your particular preferences, you can make those adjustments right here. You can learn more about the particular applications and how what I just said can apply to your situation. You can edit these settings. You can block certain applications. And as you learn more about, as I mentioned in a prior video, you may learn more about particular applications through your research prior to just letting that application run rampant upon your fan page or your group. Through learning about that particular application, you may find that not only do you not want it, you don't want to have anything to do with it, period. Even from your friends, you can then block those particular applications altogether. Again, just make yourself familiarized with the different adjustments you can make here on the applications and websites. And also under search, as I mentioned, you can make certain adjustments as to who can or cannot see the search results. And you've got your options here where you can block individuals too. You may never find the actual need to use this, but it's a good option to have just in case, because you can in fact hide information, as I've pointed out, so that the particular bits of your content do not show up to particular individuals. Now, blocking them all together may not be what you want to do, but if that is, then you have that option here. Again, you can always, instead of blocking them here, just hide the information from them through individual posts that or content that you put on your wall or your profile. Now, remember this too, just like it says right here, note that blocking someone may not prevent all communications and interactions in applications, and does not extend to elsewhere on the internet. In other words, just because you block them here doesn't mean that they can't bug you over at Twitter or anywhere else. I know that goes without saying, but I figured, what the heck, I'll go ahead and say it anyway. So again, block when need be, but not necessarily is it a total blackout from that person seeing your content. And you can also adjust your privacy settings on a per post basis. let's head on back home. And if we come on up here to our publisher, again, you can publish whatever you want in here, but right here under the padlock, the default is everyone. And as I mentioned just a minute ago, you can adjust that default as you see fit, but you can also override that default just as you can here by simply, before you clicking on the share button, you come on down here, and instead of everybody, you want it to only go to only friends or to one of those lists that you had created. And then once you've got that set to wherever you want, then you click on share and away it goes. And that's an overview of the privacy settings on your Facebook account. Again, you want to make sure that you are familiar with these bits of information before you actually need them. Be proactive rather than reactive. So thank you very much for watching this video, and you have a great day.